All right, well, it was an entirely different story for the Giants. Let's take a moment of silence for our man Stephen A. They seem to be in some real trouble. They were shut out by the Panthers. Eli Manning sacked 7 times in a single game, one shy of a career high. In this 38-point loss, it was basically the worst ever under Tom Coughlin.
You know, it's a different story when you're getting your butt kicked. I mean, I think the effort was there. Of course, there's no result to show for it. So I wouldn't accuse him of not that. I know the effort was there on the other side of the ball. The defense gave good effort. Special teams gave good effort. The offense was giving the effort. We're just getting manhandled, quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Since 1990, only 3% of the teams starting 0-3 have reached the playoffs. I ask you this, is the season over for your Giants?
I'm taking that as a big yes.
I'm trying to be serious here. Come on.
Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless. I'm supposed to keep my cool on national television.
Uh-oh.
I'm so ticked off right now. I don't even... Lord have mercy if somebody listens to me on radio today, because I could be a little bit more free-flowing on radio than even I could be on here. But I'm going to try anyway,
so
Skip Bayless.
Gives you a little
more latitude, Skip. A little more, just a touch. Yeah. Let me say this. It was one of the most hideous performances I have ever seen. It made me ashamed.
You mean ever? Besides the Giants, like period.
The Giants. The Giants. Skip. 4 times in the first 10 plays, Eli Manning was sacked. 6 times in the first 17 minutes. They got some dude, some left tackle, Will Beatty. I mean, look, just go away. Just go away. Take the week off. Go see your mama. Go talk to your family. Do something.
Yep.
This was just a disgraceful performance, okay? You had him. You're looking at Justin Pugh. He's a rookie. You're looking at a guy like Chris Nee. He's clearly on the downside. You're looking at these dudes on their offensive line like a David Bass. He's been sporadic. I mean, just nothing. No protection for Eli Manning whatsoever. Your running game, David Wilson, I'm done with him.
You're done with him?
Look. The dude is small.
He is.
Teddy Bruschi came on my show last week, ESPN New York, 98.7 FM. The great Teddy Bruschi for the New England Patriots, now an NFL analyst here. He says, Stephen A., all they got to do is grab his arm. It shifts his whole direction. All you need is that split second to deter him. He can't do it. He's not a power back, and your definition of a power back is bringing in Brandon Jacobs, who, if you wanted him bad enough, you wouldn't have been in San Francisco last year. I mean, these dudes were so god-awful. I'm just thinking about it. And then I said to myself, where have I been? I know I picked them to miss the playoffs, okay? But never in my wildest dreams that I expect them to be this bad. You've got a situation, you're 0-3, you've been outscored 115-54, you're averaging 38 points, surrendering 38 points on average. Since 6-2 start last year, you've lost 8 of your last 11 games. You got a 1-5 record over your last 6 games where you're averaging giving up 31.5 points. I mean, Big Blue, the Giants defense. Actually, I don't know why I did this. You know what? I'm a cruel person, Skip. I'm a cruel person because I talked to you about the family. I talked to you about my sister Carmen. Forget Carmen. The biggest Giants fan in my family is my sister Linda, my older sister Linda. I went there to see her last night to give her condolences. She's like, oh, Lord, she wanted to throw up. It was just that bad, Skip. We are not accustomed to seeing this level of ineptitude from the New York Giants. And I understand 0-3 doesn't mean that they're done because we see how weak or sporadic that is. The NFC East is. But I dare say they're done. I picked them to miss the playoffs anyway, and they've given me every indication. Skip, when I picked them to miss the playoffs, in no way did I think they would be this bad. This bad. Skip, they've got no pressure from the defensive line. They don't have a pass rush. The only dude that penetrated the backfield for Carolina was Linval Joseph. Justin Tuck, he's been sporadic. JPP
is he out there?
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, compared to JPP, he's out there. Compared to JPP, he's out there. The only dude that had a sack was Matthias Kawanuka, okay? You look at everything. Their linebackers are virtually non-existent. Their pass rush is non-existent. Their running game is non-existent. Their offensive line is beyond non-existent. You have no backup quarterback to spare Eli Manning of the assault that has been generated towards him. I'm looking at the New York Giants. It is a flat-out disgrace how awful they are. They look so bad. I'm looking at Tom Coughlin, and all I could think about was sympathy. Poor man, God bless him and his family. Just finished. Your brother just passed away a few days ago. You show up to work anyway, trying to do your job, only to be subjected to this horrendous performance. I don't know what else to say. I mean, they got beat down, bum rushed, stomped on, and straight out punked by the Carolina Panthers for the second year in a row. It's just horrible. Just horrible.
Well, I'll answer the question. Your Giants are D-O-N-E, done.
Done.
And yet, I will remind you, on Friday, we both picked your Giants to win this football game. And by the way, at kickoff, your Giants were a slight betting favorite in this game by 1.5 points, just for perspective here. And I will tell you, I did watch this whole game, and early in the second quarter, I thought your Giants were still going to pull it out. They were down 7-0. Cam threw a horrendous interception to Aaron Ross, and on the next play, David Wilson bolted left in for a touchdown, and it was called back because of holding on Will Beatty.
That's right.
Whoever Will Beatty is.
Will Beatty.
Okay.
Will Beatty.
Okay.
Will
but
Beatty.
I thought it was 7-7. Here come the Giants. And from that point, your Giants obviously got annihilated. So here's the irony to me. I later watched a lot of the Jets game. The Jets now have exactly what the Giants used to build their 2 Super Bowls on. Number one, the Jets have a hellacious good offensive line. Geno didn't even get touched yesterday by the Bills.
That's right.
Who can really bring it.
That's right.
In their pass rush.
Yes, sir.
And the Jets now have, I'd say, a top 2 or 3 in the NFL. Front 7 on defense.
Oh, that's big
really
time.
good.
It's
Big time.
Big time. And this kid, Sheldon Richardson,
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying.
He's
well,
impressive.
those are the 2 things the Giants no longer have. Why did Eli? And I kid him, but again, for Eli Manning to wear 2 Super Bowl rings is beyond comprehension to me, because we did have some of this going on in both games, especially in the first game. But what saved Eli in both those games? What allowed Eli always to be Eli? Protection. And the defensive front was just locked down. It was shut down. And I'm going back to Strahan and company, but even in the second Super Bowl against New England, boy, they were really good. Tom Brady had a hard time. That was a long, hard game for Tom Brady and company. So, Stephen A., all of a sudden, the Giants have neither. They can't protect Eli, who can't really run. He did escape on 1 scramble early, which shocked me. But in the end, if you can't stop the opponents from rushing or running the ball or throwing, because you can't get any pass rush, what do you have left? You have Eli throwing it to Cruz and
got to take his chances. And then you can't throw it to anybody because you're not being protected. If you don't have a running game, at least have enough of a stout offensive line to protect Eli so he can throw the football to a Victor Cruz, to a Hakeem Nicks, to a Ruben Randall.
What happened on opening night at Jerry World?
There you go.
What happened?
There you go.
They got way down because Eli stunk it up early, and then he threw for 450 yards, and he almost got him back in the game.
Right.
He is capable, but you have to give him some time because he's not going to run around like Cam.
They're not getting any time.
Okay, so bottom line, whose fault is this? Jerry Reese gets a lot of credit for a lot of things and deserves a lot of credit, but I got to tell you, he has let the talent pool in both lines of scrimmage, both offensive and defensive line, it is fading into your sunset here.
I didn't want to say that because I have a lot of respect for Jerry Reese, and I believe in him, and I believe that he should be here for a very, very long time. But clearly, there is minimal talent on your offensive line. And there is questionable talent in your backfield. And the combination of those 2 things have left Eli Manning to hang out and dry, because you can't get in Hakeem Nicks and Victor Cruz, because you can listen. Victor Cruz showed us through the first 2 games. He is here. He's ready to earn his money. And Hakeem Nicks, rehabilitating from his injury from last year, can do his thing as well.
I don't know what happened to him yesterday.
All right,
because he just disappeared.
Well, again, you disappear when when your quarterback's not being protected. Everybody's disappeared. We didn't hear from Victor Cruz either. You know why? Because Eli Manning wasn't being protected enough to throw the football, and then he was just heaving stuff up there. It was just an embarrassing, abysmal performance. And listen, I'm not blaming Tom Coughlin because we know he puts in the work. We know how dedicated he is. But there's something to be said for 2 consecutive 9-7 seasons, although 1 materialized into a Super Bowl title.
It did.
And there's something to be said for missing the playoffs in 3 of the last 4 years en route to missing it 4 of the last 5. It is a standard that is not befitting of the New York Giants. Jerry Reese sat there and put the Super Bowl clock or watch or whatever it is up in the locker room. All of this stuff is true. They do not have the personnel to compete. The Giants are a shell of themselves, and we know this because they're not living up to their own identity.
Yep.
Their identity is defense and being able to run the football, at which they can do neither at this moment in time. It's pretty bad.
Stephen A., he says they're done.
They are done.
You agree?
They are done.
They are done.
Well, I picked them at the beginning of the season not to
So
make
the season's
playoffs.
over.
But I didn't expect that.